Okay, so we'll try third time lucky with this video because I record it and I just get so worked up, and a few unabbreviated mofos come out and that sort of thing. And yeah, so I'm just going to say a few things about the virus, and then I'm just going to go back to making videos about subjects that I originally wanted to talk about when I started uploading videos, which is true crime, body image, and TSM, the Sinclair method. So I got some cowboy boots on for this one because, yeah. So I want to say, globally, obviously there's a lot of global dialogue about all sorts of things that are really scary and they're really real, and that is concerns about 5th generation, which we've all been concerned about for a while. And I think mainly, obviously the possible problem there is surveillance, okay, and vaccinations. I mean, when you've got the insane, inept, too rich Bill Gates murdering people in third world countries, it's easy to see all sorts of things, reading all sorts of things into what's going on now, and putting it all together with this big new world order thing, right? And you've got people speaking up very passionately, in all communities. And I just was going to mention 2 people in the carnivore community, because that's how I first, started being interested in watching YouTube videos, was through actually watching footage, because I was interested in eating raw meat at the time, and he talked about that. But so I started watching YouTube because of the carnivore community, and there's 2 people in that community. One of them on the rise, one of them seems to be happy to take a few hits in the views department for what he's saying, and that is Carnevale, who should stick to mountain biking down his goat track and stay in his own rut, and Frank Tufano, who I've been so concerned about in the past with regards to the bullying that he is on the end of often, regardless of whether you think he sort of encourages people to bully him in a way or not. Have often, I really don't like bullying, and anyway, so I used to be quite concerned for him about that. But Carnevale is so disparaging. He has so much disdain for you all. He calls you idiots and dummies, and that tone that he uses. And guess what? He knows jack shit. Jack shit, Carnevale. And you've got no right and no qualifications to talk to people about other countries' politics and economics, and how dare you insinuate that various nations are happily torturing their citizens, how these nations are purposefully destroying their economies to the tune of trillions of dollars. I mean, you're just not right in the head, mate, okay? You're the idiot. And it's not to say that various countries don't have people in them and corporations in them, and people in government who want to make moves that we don't all like, and to do with human rights or to do with just making money. China infiltrates everywhere, and China has infiltrated in Australia quite deeply into universities, as it has all around the world, and China is often receiving funding, and it gets a lot of knowledge from other countries. There's a lot of spies, in universities and things like that. And I mean, that's a fact. you know, and it's if the CCP and the Great Leap Forward happily will murder 45 million people, I mean, that's how many people died in the Great Leap Forward. I mean, what's a few people around the world now in their strive to, for, you know, further domination? Because let's face it, we are in the Asian century. It's dubbed that for a reason. And this little old virus isn't going to take them down. But it's not going to raise them up either. It shouldn't. And it is a fact that, you know, sarscovid2 is real. It is travelling around the world. It is infecting people. It is harming people. It's making people sick, and people are dying. And we don't know how to treat it, okay? And it's not covering up for 5Gen release, all right? But, you know, it's a real thing, and we need to do something about it, and people are trying. And, you know, I always haven't been 100% on lockdown, because particularly about, you know, how long should lockdown last, because I've been very concerned about people's mental health, and of course